I'm here at the ADA booth with Eric Pratt from USBroadcast Distribution. Eric, thank you for agreeing to spend some time with us.
Thanks for having me on the show. I want to walk you through a couple of the products that I think your people might be interested in.
That would be great.
So over here we have an ADA 4K 6G 12x zoom camera, and it's just this little box right here, and what we've done is we've kind of make it look like a studio camera. That's not its actual interpretation. What I wanted to do is I wanted to give people a better idea of the different things that you can do with it. Because this is a 12x zoom 4K camera for $1,295, this thing has an enormous range of applications, because you could put it at the back of a church, the back of a conference center. The 12x zoom gives you an awesome amount of zoom, and at $1,295, it's about what you would pay for an HD camera, and if you're not doing 4K, this thing runs in HD. So we can run out of here SDI, 6G, or 4K HDMI, and what we're doing is we're taking it out of here into this box over here. This is the Rakeen 4K region of interest box. So we're bringing in the 6G, and we're taking the 4K signal and we're turning it into up to 8 different HD regions. And we're using this control surface that comes with the unit to partner them together, and we can use it just like a switcher. So you can see all the different animated elements of this one high resolution 4K, and then we can output it via 8 different SDI outputs into a switcher, or use it like a switcher itself.
So this is giving you a virtual PTZ in effect, so even people who are not in the UHD space would still really benefit from having this and giving them multiple cameras. So it's not only a price-efficient 4K, it's a price-efficient multi-camera.
For HD production.
For HD production.
So it's a great way of using HD cameras. Next down the list is the Videon Shivano. This is a 4K HEVC encoder, and that's really neat because it'll do the traditional standards like RTMP, but for HEVC, which is where people are moving, and SRT and a lot of other buzzwords and acronyms, this product is where you need it to be today. It will do HD, but it will migrate with you tomorrow for 4K, HLS, 3 channels of RTMP, unicast, multicast. It records. It'll FTP your recorded files. It's a great. I mean, you get a lot in this little tiny box. This is new from Kiloview. They're the makers of a variety of NDI capture products. This is an NDI camera-mounted NDI HX battery-powered wireless encoder. So we can unplug it and we get 3 hours of in-the-field NDI use. If we were working with the convention, we could throw one of these on your camera here and it would just beam NDI up to the cloud, and well, not the cloud, up to the local network, and then down to whatever NDI-enabled switchers that people want to decode this stream with live anywhere in the convention.
So from the NDI side, that's talking TriCast, vMix, or even OBS, if people are in that space and want to go there, live stream. So
Wirecast, everybody has implemented the NDI infrastructure because they've needed to, because NDI is IP video.
That's it, yes.
IP video is NDI. Scarhoy controllers, so I'll show you more of those a little bit down the line, but this is the PTZ Pro. This is one of the better selling products because this product is compatible with so many different kinds of PTZ cameras. I can't even name them all in one interview, but it works with just about everything that from Panasonic and Sony Vadio. We've got it hooked up to an ADA camera up here, so if I adjust this, you can see that the PTZ camera is very fluid and smooth. And interestingly, no manufacturer makes a control surface that works with other people's cameras. This will drive multiple brands of PTZs at the same time, but an interesting point, in fact, Scarhoy controllers, every single one of them is the same. You look at it and go, no, that's a PTZ controller, and that one down there's a switcher. Every single one of them has a computer inside that communicates with its intended use. So the RCP is meant for controlling a red or an ARRI camera, the PTZs are meant for controlling PTZ cameras, the switcher, vMix, TriCaster, etc. But I can control this. I can control vMix with this. I can control a red camera with this. It's kind of, but the point is that I can control any device that they support a core from with any device that they make.
So this gives people an opportunity to start at a lower end with PTZ cameras, but as they progress in terms of what they want to upgrade to,
when I'm ready to buy a Panasonic UE 150, if you want to start out with some ADA cameras and some PTZ optics, cameras, but then get something with really fine motor control and some high-end features, this will work with everything.
And as a controller, the resolution on that is compatible as well, because that's a very high-end.
Skarhoy does a really amazing integration of all of their products. They get one of the products that they're trying to support in-house, and they really get inside of it and figure out every little thing that you could want to support, and you can bring something that normally, there's normal configurations, but let's say something weird, like I want to be able to access my 2D and 3D noise reduction, not something you would normally have in front, but let's say you have a need for that. You can rearrange this controller to meet your needs by bringing certain features up to the front, so you can customize these to suit just your needs.
Fantastic.
Next on the list.
Yes.
This is one of my new favorites. This is going to be kind of a little hard to tell, but right down there, those little gold plugs there are SDI. So this is a laptop with 2 SDI inputs on it. We can do an additional 2 USB connectors, so those could be SDI, HDMI, 4K HDMI, and we're running vMix on it. This is the Switchblade ArcLight. It's for $29.95. It comes turnkey with SDI inputs and vMix HD. I really like that one.
As portables, that's probably about as small and portable a system as you can get for...
Absolutely not, because we're going to show you an even smaller and more portable system. However, the major advantage here is that this has a built-in battery. So you get 4 channels, 4 camera, battery-powered mobile production is a unique feature of this product. But if you want to get even smaller, this is a 4-channel SDI switcher in a 4-inch by 4-inch form factor. This thing is super tiny. This is called the Switchblade Splice X4. There's also an X2 version, which costs a little bit less, which only has 2 inputs. It's a computer with vMix on it. It comes turnkey. We can add other inputs to it, like, oh, I use a 4K HDMI camera for region of interest. You can throw that on there as well. Next down the line, we have the Switchblade Turbo. This is our flagship product. It is this particular one that we're showing here is kind of a monster. It is a 4-channel 6G. It has a Rekin 3D virtual set system in it, which also has its own capture I/O. It's a 4-channel PoE, so you can hook your PoE NDI cameras directly up to it without an intermediary router, so each one can plug in and be powered by without any other assistance directly from this unit. The other neat thing that you can do with that is you can hook Skarhoy controllers directly up to it. So you have a total of 5 ports on this for our PoE. This also has 4 channels of 4K HDMI. So there's a lot in there. This is the flagship Turbo X, means it's got an i9 in it, it's got a 2070 RTX GPU, and it comes with vMix 4K.
So for most people, this is going to be the high-end type of system that they'd be looking for, especially if they do field productions, where they need to be able to move it from location to location.
This is our field production workhorse, and you might be saying, well, you know, if I could get 4 inputs in this or 4 inputs on these, why would I choose the difference between these? This little guy that I was showing you, the splice back here, it doesn't have a lot of power. If you want to do a 1080 encode to YouTube and a 720 to Facebook, and you want to record and do ISO records and replays, that little guy will not do that. This will do all of that. So we're actually doing 4K production here because this has the horsepower to do it, and that's what it's designed for. So it is certainly, this one starts at 8K, so it's
right.
It's higher up there. Almost last. There are a couple more Skarhoy controllers that we have here, and I just wanted to explain a little bit about what I decided to do at the booth this year. Is when people would come up and do interviews, or I was just running through, the talking points. I set up. You probably can't see it, but there's another Skarhoy controller back here. This guy is one of my favorites, the Rack Fusion. I've set up some macros, and these macros, if you watch my program here, you won't see anything changing on my program output, but the screens behind me are doing all of my talking points, so I know what I'm talking about. So I set up some macros to run my auxiliary outputs of the turbo to bring up my things I want to talk about, but I'm also switching everything that I want here. So the point is that I can switch with the Rack Fusion while I can switch with the Airfly, so I can switch while I switch.
So if you were on a set this could control, you could use one to control what's being displayed on the monitor in your set, while the actual switching can be done on another unit.
You're going to have two people switching, one driving the screens in venue and one driving the actual live production that's being streamed.
And with the built-in Rakeen, this would allow you to actually do this even in a virtual set then.
3D virtual sets, which is different. vMix has virtual sets that are very similar to the TriCaster. It's got 2D virtual sets, which are panning and zooming.
Right.
The Rakeen is a 3D virtual set system where you can actually move the camera through a 3D scene. And now, last but not least, is Nimbus. This is a wireless system. And what's exciting about a wireless system? Wireless systems are generally pretty boring. But this not only sends video from point A to point B, this also has an Ethernet bridge in it. What can we do with an Ethernet bridge? We can control a PTZ camera 3,000 feet away. We could shade a camera using a Scarhoy RCP. We could run a switcher that's 3,000 feet away. We could put 3 cameras at the far end of a football field and send switching data through to an ATEM and switch between those 3 cameras and send just one back wirelessly. Lots of applications. Also, it has intercom, serial data, relay, and H.264 encoder so that other people can watch the output of this on a tablet. And then to expound just a little bit more on the relay, this is a product that goes between the transmitter and the receiver that lets it go around corners. Now I'm able to connect to the transmitter, which is over in that booth. I'm going right through this wall, but let's pretend this wall is cement, which you need line of sight in order to get that. I would put this out there, and as long as both devices have line of sight, we can go around corners. We would no longer need line of sight. We've got, and then this also extends the range by up to 4,000 feet. So this is a way of adding, for $700, this adds an awful lot of functionality to your existing Nimbus wireless system.
And these are all relatively low latency in terms of the transmission.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the highest latency product at 80 milliseconds. Those are low latency 30 millisecond, which is basically 1 frame.
Yeah, so that's great. So if people wanted to follow up on any of this with you, how should they get in touch?
So I like our website. It's USBroadcast.co.
And one other thing, you also do a lot of online tutorials around vMix. So is that something you just want to point out to folks who would be interested?
Well, we do a course on vMix to help people, new customers, get up and running quickly. It's on Udemy. It's called vMix From Basic to Amazing. It's usually $10, so I feel like that's a really good deal for 3 hours of vMix training. So it's there's a lot of videos on the internet of how to do things, but this is a scheduled course of how to go from installation to switching a live webinar, plus a lot of advanced topics like how do you build a virtual and other creative stuff.
Eric, thanks a lot for taking the time to talk to us. This is great.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show.
Take care.